these magazines. A campaign has been launched today to ask the government to ban the airbrushing of models and celebrities in these magazines because it gives us the wrong perception of image, and it can, in some cases, lead to consequences for health. Joined on the line now by Sarah Fullager from Bristol. Sarah, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell me, when you see these images in magazines, what do you see?
I mean, the answer I'd give you now would probably be very different about a year ago, but I mean, I work very closely with a campaign called BodyGossip, and, you know, through my work with them, I've learned, I guess, that, you know, these images are manipulated, they are not real, they've been altered to such a ridiculous degree, you know, more often than not, that what we see is not a true reflection of what these people actually look like. But I think, you know, it's very easy to forget when we see these images so frequently on a day-to-day basis. It's so easy to forget just how manipulated they have been.
See, what I don't understand, Sarah, is that the average, I think I read this quite recently, the average size for a woman in the UK is 14. That's the average size. So if that is the average size, and that is the average woman, and I don't like to talk in average terms, why the heck do we have these images of women looking like they could do with a good meal? And that is the aspiration for all women, when it isn't what the majority of women are. Where does the disconnect come from, Sarah?
Well, you know, I think a lot of it comes from airbrushing's link with advertising in particular, because, I mean, you know, when we are shown a thin, beautiful woman, we're not just shown a thin, beautiful woman who we are told is beautiful. We are shown a woman who is successful, who is loved, who is popular, who is adored. It's all the things that we are told, I think, that come along with what would happen if we did look like these images. That's why they're so compelling. That's why so many people feel the need to adhere to them and to try and reach that same standard of, you know, inverted commas, beauty, if you like.
You used to suffer with anorexia yourself, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And
I did.
Do you know where that came from, where that stemmed from? Was it a sort of the perception that what you looked like based upon the images that were surround us was not what you were, so you wanted to aspire to that?
I mean, for me, it was actually it never started because of those images that I was seeing. It actually started far more because of a lot of complex psychological issues that were going on at that particular point in my life. What I will say is this: I think actually more damaging than the airbrushed images that we see on a day-to-day basis are a lot of reports about anorexia, because, you know, more often than not we are showing someone who is drastically underweight in their underwear with detailed, you know, information about their weight, their BMI. And for me as an ex-sufferer, you know, anorexia is by nature a very, very competitive illness. And for me, it was those reports that were more damaging. I mean, I don't think airbrushing is doing anything positive, but I also don't think, you know, we can expect to see that change. And for me, you know, it certainly wasn't one of the key factors that led to my illness at all.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you say that there are almost, you can actually, if you close your eyes, except if you're driving a car right now, if you close your eyes, you can actually see the images, can't you? If you close your eyes, you can see the image of an anorexic. It's normally a back view shot where you can see the nodules of the spine and the ribs. That's the image you get. And there is an image that they constantly use on the BBC News website when they talk about overweight issues. It's a man, it's a fat man's hairy stomach with a tape measure around it. I mean, my team are laughing now, but actually you think it's always that image, and it is images that are used to explain stories which don't give you the full story, and indeed can put you in the wrong direction. Are you still there, Sarah? I think no, Sarah. No, we've lost Sarah. We've lost Sarah Fullager there from Bristol. Well, if you've got a view on this, yes, strange line there. If you've got a view on this this morning, 0845 905 949 is the number that gets you to me. It's born on the story of the anorexia tragedy of a teenage cover girl who died as a result of trying to aspire to models and images that, well, basically aren't realistic. I think we've got Sarah Fullager back. Sarah, hello there.
Hello, yes, I'm back.
Didn't want to happen.
I don't know.
So looking at those, we were just talking about the images of magazines, and indeed the images that portray anorexia as a condition. Is the answer that perhaps actually the government should legislate and say all images should be realistic and representative of what they're trying to say?
Yes, absolutely. I think in terms of the airbrushing that we see on a day-to-day basis, I think, you know, what's wrong with a few wrinkle lines or laughter lines? You know, we're saying that these things are negative and that, you know, they should be brushed over and ignored, when in reality, you know, that's real life. And I think why it's such a shame, and especially I think the extent to which these images are modified, it seems completely bizarre to me that this is going on. And in some ways I can understand, because they're selling products and it looks glamorous and this, that and the other, but I think, you know, something has got to be done. These images need to be labelled so that people are aware and can be constantly reminded just how manipulated the images are and how manipulated they are being, really.
Sarah Fullager from Bristol, thank you for your time this morning here on BBC Radio.
Thank you very much.